Sis, have you been trying to figure out how to prioritize savings and debt payoff, debt freedom? I mean, you come to the place where you realize that you need to do both. You're not really sure which comes first, like the chicken or the egg. So today, we're going to talk about how to prioritize savings versus paying down your debt. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whenever you're viewing this live. Welcome to BAM Talk video series where we're talking about the business, we're talking about the Bible, and we talk about the money. And this week we are addressing some frequently asked questions about money. So if you're catching this on the replay, go ahead and type hashtag replay. And if this information is valuable to you, go ahead and share it out to your sister girls. Also, I want you to invite them to come into our Smart Money Sisters group. And if you are not in our Smart Money Sisters group, then you come on in the room as well. And for those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Tisha D. Colston, financial influencer and coach for women. And I show women how to achieve financial freedom so that you can create a life you love to live. So we talk about money. That's right, money, Money. But I facilitate growth around money, around the spiritually aspects of money and the natural aspects of money, giving you the tools and the resources that you need to make, manage, and multiply your money. So you can find me on the web at tishadcolston.com. Got a blog going on there, so you can check out, the blog post and just keep coming back for updates on that as well. Now, you can also find me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Just search for Tisha D. Colston. So let's get into today's topic. How should I prioritize savings versus paying down my debt? So knowing how to do a thing is the challenge, right? We know that we should, but how to do it can be the challenge. Where are my priorities? How do I figure this thing out? This balancing act between savings and debt payoff. I mean, I know that I should pay off my debt, but I also want to save for emergencies or whatever else so that I can stay out of debt. And I'm not really sure how to do both of them. So let me give you a few things to think about that can help you to balance or prioritize the savings and the debt scenarios that you may be facing. So, the first thing to take a look at is that you must budget. Okay, so you guys know budget, spending plan, whatever you want to call it. But in that, you must first consider your immediate obligations. So I know it seems like it may be a no brainer, but you would be surprised at how many people are not paying their rent and paying other things and going behind in, let's say, their mortgage or their rent because we haven't prioritized those things. So your immediate obligations come first. What are those, right? That's your rent and your mortgage. I mean, even before you have a light bill, you need to have a place to have the light bill. So you have got to prioritize your rent and your mortgage. Other things you might prioritize for your immediate obligations would be your car payment, it would be your food, your gas, your utilities. Food might be in question because you know what? Some people might say, listen, I can go to the food bank. Listen, I have been a food bank participant, and so it's not that bad. It depends on where your priorities are and what you determine is what is important to you. But there are some things that are just important no matter what. Car payments, it just depends right now because right now we're all in the midst of COVID and pandemic, and you may be working from home. So your car may not be as important right now as it had been in the past, but you still need to get to the store and things like that. So your immediate obligations, would include your car payment. It would include the gas. While you may not spend as much gas right now, you still have to include gas. Utilities, that's an immediate obligation. You have to pay that every single month, right? Then you look at your other expenses, or what I read somewhere, they called it the true expenses. And those are the ones that you may not know exactly how much you need, but you know that they're coming. So you want to make provisions for them and capture that inside of your monthly budget. So that's going to be things like think about the holidays, okay? Because you know, I may not consider it a priority. It may not be something that I go into debt for, but there was a time when I did go into debt over holidays, particularly Christmas, right? So right now, I'm older, so I reprioritize that event. And if you get a gift, it's because I can afford it, not because I'm going to go into debt over it. But there was a time when I did do that. So I don't want to shame anybody for that because it may just be important for you, right? So it's important for you and you don't want to go into debt because of it. So instead, you don't have to ignore it and go into debt later. You can plan it out, okay? Put it in your monthly budget as your true expenses. Other things might be insurance premiums. They come up once a year, every 6 months, tax payments if it's not included in your mortgages, things we don't think about, like car repairs, right? You know that you have to get your oil changed every, couple thousand miles, right? Every couple whatever months, right? Are you putting aside for the true expenses? So sit down and think of the other things that come out of your bank account. You could go through your bank account, actually your statement, and look at your statement and look at the itemization of it and see what is it throughout maybe a year that has come out of your account. And so, because sometimes we forget, right? Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. So that's going to help you to not forget about it. So after considered your immediate and your obligations and your true expenses, now you're ready to really tackle savings and debt. Okay. So those are how you really prioritize that. Now you're ready to go into savings and debt. So it's, in my opinion, is not an either or, it's a both and. Okay. So I would say, all right, so we know that we need to have 7 months in an emergency fund. Now, most say six, but if you review one of my videos from last week, you'll know why I say 7 months. Because Joseph's, when he interpreted Pharaoh's dream, it was 7 years that he instructed through the interpretation of the dream, the Pharaoh, the king, to save up for the 7 years of plenty, for the 7 years of famine that was coming upon the land. So I say 7 months of an emergency fund, right? And so this is the thing. It's best to just have a balance. It, like I said, it's a both and, not an either or. So both are a priority. If you wait until you pay off your debt in order to prioritize savings, then you may then enter into debt again because life happens and emergencies come up and things just go awry. I mean, the car breaks down, which we talked about, that earlier, but you may run into health issues or job losses and things like that. And so now your credit is impacted because you don't have the necessary savings to help you during those times of need. As in Joseph's case, when he instructed the Pharaoh, you do want to in the times of plenty, save for the times of famine. So you have to have a balance between the two. So that way you're working on both. That's my encouragement, is that you work on both, right? Save and prevent debt going forward and still make progress on your debt at the same time. So, what you'll have to do is find a balance that works for you that works for your family. Agree on a plan with yourself or with your family and stick with that plan. So, my recommendation is to prioritize paying down significant debt while making smaller contributions to your savings. And then once you've paid off your debt, you can now put what you've been putting on that debt into your savings, and you can be more aggressive when it comes to your savings account. Um, when you do a budget or you create a spending plan, it's going to help you to pay down your debt and build your savings at the same time. If you actually do the work of a budget, you will see how you can prioritize your savings and how you can prioritize your debt and balance the two acts at the same time, right? So a lot of times we're trying to work this thing out in our heads. I'm just trying to figure this thing out. Maybe I put a little bit of notes down on a piece of paper here and there, but what's in your head doesn't necessarily work out when it comes to in practice. So when you put that thing on pen and paper and plug in the numbers, that's when your picture becomes real, and that's what you when you see what you could not see before, right? So you might not have seen how you can prioritize it before, but when you start plugging in those numbers, you can see, oh, this is how I can do the balance between savings and paying down my debt. So now I've been talking about budgeting as being a key. And of course, I have a few budget books on my website, tishadcolston.com/shop. And my latest one is Bougie on a Budget. And it's designed, although it's cute, it is designed to help you to determine your priorities and to balance them and to stay within them and to create that discipline when it comes to your finances and maintain good financial habits. And so I want to encourage you to go pick up my book, Bougie on a Budget. I'm coming out with a new one. It's going to have the same insides, and it will be the Smart Money Sisters, because some people just aren't cool with the Bougie on a Budget phrase, even though I like it. But so whichever one, but you'll have the Smart Money Sisters 2021 yearly planner. It's all going to be available on tshadcolston.com forward slash shop. And so we all are working on some fantastic things coming up, tossing around the idea of co-working sessions for budgeting. See, because we all need help in just getting it done. It's not sometimes that you don't know how as much as you need help with getting it done, right? So we're going to help each other and do some co-working sessions. So look forward to that coming. Look forward to my Black Friday, I might call it Blue Friday release coming out here pretty soon. And yeah, so just balance your savings and paying down of your debt. If you need more information about this topic, feel free to go to tishadcolston.com and schedule a breakthrough call with me, and I can help coach you through that. If you found this information valuable, share it out to your sisters and invite them to my Smart Money Sisters Facebook group. There's where we partner with God to make, manage, and multiply money so that you can create a life that God intended for you to live. So that's it for today, my Smart Money Sisters. The Lord bless you and the Lord keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you, be gracious unto you. The Lord turn his face towards you. And check this out. I pray that the Lord give you financial peace. Till we meet again, we'll see you soon.